Hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing here on New Zealand Sports Radio. Hi, I'm Paul and I'll be your host this morning, and we have a bumper edition for you today. I have got reports in from members of our the Standoff Show and the Knicks newsletter, as well as a reporter in for the Supercars as well. So not just me bringing you the news this morning. In the news then, we have a couple of games in the IPL, in the cricket, over in the NRL. As I say, the Standoff will be bringing us a report on the Phoenix game, plus we had other games in week 6, rounding off week 6. We've got some rugby news with the Super Rugby AU game yesterday, as well as some re-signing news. The A-League, the Phoenix were in action yesterday. We've got NBA and NBL basketball action. We've got the V8 Supercars I mentioned. Also, the ANZ netball kicked off yesterday, as well as golf in the PGA European Tour, and particularly the LPGA with Lydia Ko going exceptionally well. This is your best way to start the day up to speed with all of the important sports news. And let's kick off with that golf. And in the PGA Tour, it is the RBC Heritage at the moment. They're in the fourth round is alive. Sink is 5 shots ahead of a chasing group in that one. He's looking good for the title, but still, he's only at the third hole, so still some way to go there. Over in the European Tour, and the Australian Open went down to a playoff, and Catlin beat Kiefer in the playoff for that to take the win in that one. No Kiwi representatives in there. And over on the PGA, Danny Lee unfortunately missed the cut for the weekend. Over in the LPGA Tour, though, that's where all Kiwi eyes were on that one. Lydia Ko had been going well in that, coming into the fourth round, just leading, but she had a very good final round to 7 under par, to finish at 28 under par, 7 shots clear of the chasing group in that one, to win her first title in 3 years. Look, she's been going well this year, has gone close a couple of times, but finally has got the title at the Lottie Championship. So congratulations to her. Great to see her back at the top of the podium in that one. Moving on then, and let's get our V8 Supercar update. Here we go.
At Symmons Plains this weekend, we had 3 races and 3 different winners: Shane Van Gisbergen, Jamie Whincup and Chas Mostert. SVG came away with the pole and race win on Saturday. He didn't have it all his own way when Cam Waters got the jump off the line, but the Kiwi was patient and churned away and took the lead from the Mustang halfway through the race. Jamie Whincup followed his teammate home and finished second. The last spot on the podium was taken by Anton De Pasquale, who'd worked his way up from 7th on the grid. In race 2, Waters got pole and Whincup was off the front line with him. While Cam got the lead off the line, Jamie took the effective race 2 lead mid-race down the back straight. After pitting mid-race, Shane Van Gisbergen worked his way past Davison and then Cam to take second. Will Davison rounded out the podium with a solid performance from the DJR pilot. In race 3, Chas dominated, taking the lead from his former Tickford teammate with a dominant lights to flag victory. Though this is a win that seems like forever in the making. Beating home the DJR duo of Anton De Pasquale and Will Davison, Chas was never really threatened in the third safety car free race of the weekend. Special mention go to Zane Goddard, Jack Smith and Will Brown, who had solid qualifying performances over the weekend. These are a few rookies that's certainly going to put their name in the mix in the next few years. Move of the round goes to Scott Pye, whose move at the hairpin in race 3 was something to behold. In 3 weeks' time, we go to Tailem Bend. See you then.
Thank you very much to Mossy, who gave us that update from the V8 Supercars. In the championship then, Shane Van Gisbergen is unsurprisingly top with those 6 wins on the bounce on 865 points, 139 points ahead of Jamie Whincup, who is only 26 points against Chaz Mostert. They're the 3 winners from the weekend. Moving on then to basketball action, and over in the NBA, we had we've 6 games yesterday, and we've got 2 games live right now as well. Some key games yesterday: the Lakers beat the Jazz 127 to 115, and the Grizzlies down the Bucks 128 to 115 in that one as well. Also, the Suns coming up with a loss to the Spurs 111 to 85. Currently, Steve Adams' team is in action against the New York Knicks. It's in the 4th quarter, and they are 2 points behind, so it's 86 to 84 in that one in the final quarter. We'll bring you the result of that one tomorrow morning on the Morning Sports Briefings. We come to you at 7 a.m. every single morning here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or you can also catch us on as a podcast and listen to us on the go. Just search for New Zealand Sports Radio on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or your favourite podcatcher. And by the way, Stephen Adams has got a double-double so far, 11 rebounds and 10 points in that game. And I say we'll bring you the full result tomorrow. From a table point of view, the 76ers still top of the Eastern Conference, ahead of the Nets and the Bucks. Bucks with that loss slipping back slightly there. In the Western Conference side, all the top 3 have lost recently, with the Jazz, Suns, and Clippers all stumbling in their last game, allowing the Nuggets to close up a little bit there in that one. Over in the NBL, we saw 2 games yesterday: the Wildcats versus the Breakers, and the Melbourne United versus the Hawks. The Breakers up against the Wildcats, were second in the table, so a tough ask for them in that one. Came through to win the game 78 to 83 in that one, leading the Breakers. We had Randolph coming off the bench for 23 points, also a double-double for Colton Iverson, 17 rebounds and 11 points for him, as the Breakers saw off the Wildcats in that one. A very good win for the Breakers there. That helped Melbourne United at the top of the table, because they got the win over the Hawks, 87 to 76 there. And Melbourne United now lead the Wildcats by just 1 game at the top of the table. The Breakers got their 7th win of the season, still down in 8th place, just 1 place ahead of the Titans at the bottom of the table there in that one. Very good win for the Breakers yesterday. Moving on to the A-League then, and had 3 games yesterday. Sydney FC and Adelaide United fought out a 2-all draw, as did Macarthur FC and Newcastle Jets as well. So no one will be able to get the upper hand in any of those games there. Finally, we had Perth Glory versus Wellington Phoenix, where the Wellington Phoenix came out 3-1 ahead in what's called a distance derby, I think is the nickname for it. Dan Moskovich from from the Knicks newsletter brings you his thoughts after the game.
Wasn't all that great, because we had quite a lot of sloppy giveaways, which Perth really should have taken more advantage of. But the second half, we came right out of the gates, as we've done quite a lot of season, firing, and once we got that first goal, it gave us the confidence and buoyed us to get more. And
the win is what he meant to say there. Unfortunately, that report cut off before he managed to finish that one. So good results there for the Wellington Phoenix. Sees them up into 9th place now on 18 points. Still 7 points behind Western Sydney and there's a place in the playoffs. But they do have 2 games in hand, so get those 2 wins and they're right in the mix. But still looking for other teams to do them favours to make the finals. Unfortunately, it's not in their hands. So it's an opportunity to let you know about some videos for supporters of New Zealand Sports Radio. We've had a number recently where I've looked at the New Zealand Rugby's choice of sponsors, with Bunnings taking over from Mitre 10, who took over from the ITM, as well as looking at whether Altrad is a good choice to have on the front of the All Blacks jersey. I also had a video looking at the Moana Pacifica and Fiji Drua, and why are the Pacific Islands being invited into Super Rugby now? What has changed? Why is the timing for that? Why is New Zealand Rugby suddenly wanting or perhaps needing those teams in Super Rugby? So I have a talk about that one. And then also we've had a sports special where I've talked to a fan from over in the UK looking at the possible ring fencing or removal of relegation for the Premiership. What does that mean for rugby in England in particular? So you can get all of those. Are for supporters only. Yes, it's behind a paywall. I'm very sorry, but we have to pay for all the tech somehow, and you can become a supporter for $1 a month. It's not very onerous, folks, and that helps get all the tech to help us bring you all of the this kind of all the content for you. So please go and check those out there on nzsportradio.com. But patreon.com nzsportradio is where you can support us. Moving on then to the rugby, and we had one game yesterday. I'm trying to grab my notes from that game in Super Rugby AU, as the Rebels took on the Brumbies in that one. And look, the Rebels started well, getting the first opening try, but repeat infringements and 2 yellow cards really hampered them as the Brumbies took out a 19-7 lead at half-time. And you can never really see the Rebels coming back from that. And it ended up being 20-26 at the end there, a win for the Brumbies over the Rebels in Super Rugby AU. Get a full roundup of all of the action from Super Rugby Aotearoa and Super Rugby AU with the Super Rugby Review Show that came out last night. Again, you can catch that recording on our socials or Facebook page, or also as a podcast as well. Just search New Zealand Sports Radio. Also, it looks like Dane Coles has extended his contract through to 2023 in the next Rugby World Cup. So good news for the Hurricanes and the All Blacks that he has extended through to then. Moving on then to the NRL, and 2 games yesterday. The Cowboys took on the Bulldogs and beat them 30-18, and also the Warriors took on the Dragons, winning 20-14. Let's hear from Rich from the Standoff Show, which comes to you at 8 p.m. every single Wednesday about that game.
Hey everybody, it's Rich from the Standoff with a quick review of the Warriors' 20-14 win over the Dragons from Cogra Oval. The Dragons actually started the better of the two teams with a try through Cody Ramsey, before the Warriors hit back with back-to-back tries through Tohu Harris and Paul Turner to take the lead from the hosts. Ravalawa scored for the Dragons a few minutes from half-time to cut the Warriors' lead to 12-8. In the second half, Matt Duffy scored to put the Dragons into the lead with 20 minutes remaining. The Warriors, however, didn't panic, and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck scored with 14 minutes remaining, and a few moments later, Cody Nikorima added 2 points through a penalty. The Warriors were able to hold on for their third win of the season. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck was the standout in his 100th match for the Warriors, but the whole team can be proud of themselves, almost unbelievably completing 100% of their sets for the game. I'll cover this game in more detail with Brad on Wednesday night on the Standoff. Make sure to tune in. We'll cover this game and the rest of the round's action. See you then.
Hey, Rich, for that one. He says, do check in with the Standoff Show at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. Moving on then to the cricket, and 2 games in the IPL overnight. The Royal Challengers Bangalore took on Kolkata Knight Riders, and winning that one by 38 runs, scoring 204 for 4 in their 20 overs. Glenn Maxwell with 78 off 49 balls, and A.B. de Villiers 76 not out off 34 balls, took the player of the match. The Kolkata Knight Riders, none of their batsmen could really get going, and Carl Jamieson led the bowlers, taking 3 wickets for 41 there for Challengers Bangalore as they took the win. In the other match, we saw Punjab Kings take on Delhi Capitals. Punjab Kings went into bat first, scoring 195 off their 20 overs. A great start for them, with Rahul and scoring 61 and Agarwal 69 at the top of the innings, putting a good basis for them. But their other batsmen could not really accelerate towards the end. With the Delhi Capitals, a great start again at the top of the order. Dhawan with 92 off 49 balls, leading the way as they scored 198 for 4 with 10 balls remaining to take the win in that one. Dhawan, unsurprisingly, getting a player of the match with that innings. You have now started the day the best way with all the important sports news. Don't forget, I'll be back at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning with the morning sports briefing, and we'll be here on Tuesday at 8 p.m. with the Driving Maul show as well, bringing you all of the talking about all the hot topics in rugby.